Good evening, folks. We apologize for a slight delay in the camera work here, but we're getting set to go for the first qualifier. We just wrapped up the qualifying race to set up our first heat of the night. We're back on a hot and humid night here at OTK, getting set to bring you another edition of League Night. Making his return to the track, we see Who's Your Daddy. He's driving the 4 in this one, and he starts on the pole with a 38.527. So a little bit colder last week, so that will equal a little bit lower lap times than this week. So Who's Your Daddy on the pole with a 38.5, followed then on his outside by Lurchy. JP57. He'll start in P3, so he's also making his return. He's going from Stafford, or returning from Stafford. He just ran in the modified open race last week. So he's another driver that could absolutely win tonight. Justin T, once again, he's having a good starting spot. He starts in P4. Steve-O starts in P5, rounding out your top 5, as I will have to omit the rest of the field as we're already rolling. The green flag waves, we're underway in this one as they're going under the bridge now. We're driving the reverse direction tonight. This will be a great battle, I feel, between those top 3 at the very least, as already we see Who's Your Daddy pull out to an early lead. Some bumping from Justin T that'll actually help JP57 get through the first set of hairpins. JP is now alone in P2. See a little bit of battling in the middle of the pack. That's between, I believe that's Steve-O and Emma Baker. So Emma Baker has already jumped up a couple spots on this restart. So the top 6 from this race, along with the second qualifier, will make the all-encompassing A-Man. Is already, we see a car nearly get himself wedged in the wall. That being done by Coach Crowley, I believe, on Connor Nose, I believe. So a little bit of a hello and welcome to Connor Nose from Crowley there. Already, Who's Your Daddy running away. Just about matched his lap time on the first lap of the race from the qualifier. He ran a 38.567 there. Field is already starting to fan out a bit as we get to the rest of the field here. Chester, he's now in your top 5, so he didn't qualify within that top 5, but he's now in it. Steve-O is in P6 right now, followed then by Emma Baker, so she's 1 spot out at the moment and dropping back ever so slightly now from Steve-O. Steve-O has now got just about a second on Emma Baker. Fives is in P8. So after a solid showing of weeks, these past few weeks from him, he's not doing too hot. I mean, very early here, so we can see if he's going to be able to make it up the pack when not doing so hot in the early goings here. Shot 537 is in P9, followed then by Quad B. So once again, another one of those drivers who, quite frankly, he could see himself have his weeks, but when he doesn't have it, he does not have it. Coach Crowley, yet another driver, as it said, making his return. He's in P11 right now. His best lap time is a 39.512. So again, it's only lap 3, so it's going to improve over the course of the race. But we shall see how much it improves. And rounding out your field is a brand newcomer, that being Connor Nose. Could be pronouncing that name wrong, but it's getting cut off by the timing board, so I apologize for that. So again, we're running reverse direction tonight. We do not have a comp caution as compared to last week. As in the back of the pack, that's contact there, going under the bridge from Shock 537 on fives. Fives is able to hold his position. He will get a rolled flag potentially, and we actually could see if he has to give that spot back. I don't think he will. That was a good pass after the rolled flag. So I don't believe he'll have to give that spot back. We'll have to see now as we look towards that transfer spot. That's being held by Stevo. He is caught on the tails of Jester and Justin T. Justin T doing a good job holding off both of those drivers right now. But meanwhile, Shock 537 holds off a good 3-kart battle between Fives, Quad B, and Coach Crowley. So Coach Crowley now in the mix, and he's starting to make his way up the pack. Or not quite, but he's definitely caught quickly. Meanwhile, in the front of the field, it's really then the Who's Your Daddy show. What a clever name there, taking the Hoosier from the Hoosier Racing Tires, and of course making the phrase "Who's Your Daddy" out of it. It's always good to see him up front, because quite frankly, if you see him in the rear of the field, you won't be the happiest of campers. And again, if you see him in the rear of the field, good luck if you're in front of him. He'll drive right through you. Oh boy. But again, very, very humid here tonight. And some flash flooding in the area just last night. A lot of towns, New Haven, Wallingford, West Haven in particular, a lot of those towns, they had a lot of flooding here. So we'll have to see who can open the floodgates and truly take this one home. Who can open the floodgates and run the fastest lap time of the day? So again, JP57, he sits now in P3. As it stands, he still sits third in the leaderboard, but that comes as a result of the lack of updating from the past couple of races. So the last race in the system at the moment is from July 8th. So a couple of races since then, we saw Vaughn Racing take a P3 of podium. So we'll have to see if that can actually jump him ahead of JP57. And in the meantime, we have a battle now between Justin T, Jester, and Stevo. Justin T actually got passed by Jester there for P4. Again, P4 is sitting a solid 8 seconds back of P3. So that's a large gap between really those top three that have been dominating this race and P4 through 6. We'll have to see if those top three can hold on to their fast lap times throughout the night and through the A-main as they look to, I mean, realistically, they look to hold on, not even for dear life. They're gone and away in this one. Now in the back of the pack, that's Fives. He's putting on a blocking clinic, trying to hold off the likes of Quad B, Coach Crowley, and Connor Nose. It's funny, the top three are really running away with it, and then there's a 3-kart battle, that's for P4, and then another 4-kart battle, that would be for P9. Who's Your Daddy in that 4-car? He's running a clinic right now. He just ran a 37.928. So the first 37 of the day, I believe, out of any of the drivers to come through here at OTK today. As now there's 2 to go. Hoosier Daddy sees the rolled checkered and white flag. Lurchy has been doing a lot better than, quite frankly, I would have expected. It seems that whenever he takes a break, he doesn't really come back all too hot, but he's proved me wrong right now. He ran a 38.058, so he's doing a real good job right now. He sits in P2. As now the white flag flies one more time around for Hoosier Daddy. P3 just took the white flag, that being JP57. It meant to tell you how far back P4 is. P4 only just took the white flag. So Hoosier Daddy nearly lapped P12. Didn't quite get there in time, but coming through the double hairpin for the final time in this first qualifier. He'll see the checkered flag. Hoosier Daddy will take the race win. Lurchy finishes P2 right behind him, and drifting around those final couple of hairpins is JP57, almost stopping on the line there, trying to see who's going to finish P4 here. And it will be Chester, followed then by Justin T rounding out the top 5, and Steve-O making the A-main with the last transfer spot. Emma Baker finishes 1 spot back, down in P7. Right behind her is Shock 537, about a half second back of Emma Baker. 5 sits in P9 with a 39.517, so again, not too great a showing from him. Coach Crowley down in Connor Nose in P10. So he made up a couple spots there on those past couple of laps. Made it by Coach Crowley and Quad B. So Quad B, I believe, finishes down in P12. So not too great of a showing from him there either. He actually looked like he might have gotten moved on that last lap because he ran a 43.038. So it looked like he might have got moved from P10, maybe even P9. We'll have to see. But at any rate, that wraps up your first qualifying race. Your guys that are in contention for the top 5 are Hoosier Daddy, Lurchy, and JP57. So stay tuned to see if they do, in fact, make it to the top 5. Be right back. best. The first of the cars start to pull out of pit lane for the second of 2 qualifiers tonight. As a reminder, we have 24 people here tonight. 24 racers aiming for that checkered flag. This one sees last week's A-Main winner, Nasty. He's driving in kart 16 in this one, so keep an eye on that kart. Left, another driver that was well within that A-Main contention, the A-Main win contention. He's driving in kart 14 in this one, so we'll have to see how he does. 2 is Qualifier. He was last week's B-Main winner, so we'll have to see how he does. He's driving in kart 12. We'll have to see if Joe actually holds back, that being Nasty. We'll have to see if he holds back, try to get a better lap time than Firefighter, or if he decides to just follow him through the corners. As you know, actually, Nasty makes his way by Firefighter. Even through passing, he still is 4th on the leaderboard as it stands right now. Kenny D, another one of those guys that's late onto the racetrack. So unfortunate for him as he tries to situate himself back into that A-Main contention. He's been in that A-Main contention, it feels like every week. It might be every week for the past month or so. As we actually see, it looks like Bassmaster, he's in kart 1 for this one. Looks like his kart might have died. Yes, it did. That's unfortunate for Bassmaster. Very unfortunate for Bassmaster, but at the end of the day, he sits in P4. So Nasty, despite being behind Firefighter for those first few laps or first couple laps in the qualifier, on his third lap, he has his best one, a 37.982. So he sees himself on the pole, followed then by number 1 Dad. So an incredible performance from him to see himself on the front row of this one. Following number 1 Dad, we have Piasca. Just a couple weeks ago, we saw him go 2 in a row. So we'll have to see if he can get back on that hot streak. Win yet again tonight. Following right behind him is going to be Gone Racing. So he's back again tonight. Trying to overtake, for what it's worth, he's trying to overtake JP57 for these last few weeks of the Sodi World Series. I know I said earlier it's not quite down the stretch, or that coming last week. It wasn't quite down the stretch. Matter of fact, it is. On Track Karting is getting brand new parts. So we'll have to see when Sodi will go away, essentially, from On Track Karting as we move now to his parts. We'll have to see how those things handle and how those things drive. They're going to be brand new. They're going to be fantastic here at On Track. The following behind Gone Racing is going to be Passmaster, so he actually holds on to a top 5 starting spot despite his kart dying midway through that qualifying session. Bucco is starting in P6, followed then by Left, so he'll have to improve by 1 spot to see himself in that A main spot. Firefighter starts in P8, so right around where he started last week. Following him is Blue Moon, so not quite at the level of his A main performance last week. Following behind Blue Moon is going to be GT SR, so he is also making his return here. We'll have to see how he does. Peppers, I believe he made an A main not too long ago. So that was a feel-good sort of A main for him. He starts down in P11. Following him, though, is going to be Danny D, rounding out the field. So maybe his hot streak is up, but we'll have to see as they come around the hairpin, getting ready to see the green flag. We're underway in the second heat race. Already we see Gone Racing getting shunted out wide. They're battling hard, 3 by 3. Oh, Gone Racing gets pushed into the wall. That sees Kyle Martin in A main contention already before they see the start-finish line. He's actually in P4. He's gotten by both Gone Racing and Passmaster. So we'll have to see if he can hold on to that spot. But yeah, Bucco, as you may recall, he was Kyle Martin in the past, now Bucco. So I'll have to make mental note of that one. Now getting pressured by Passmaster here. The guy who still sits atop at the moment before they put in the past couple races. He still sits atop your Sodi World Series standings for OTK. We'll have to see how long that lasts and if Nasty truly sits atop the standings. But for now, Nasty, he is leading this thing. For one, Dad's still holding his own. He has run a 38.749. Meanwhile, in the middle of the pack, left a little bit of contact there from Gone Racing. I believe that was Gone Racing. It could have been left there that received the road flag. Do not know, quite frankly, but left now one spot back of Gone Racing from the A-main spot. We'll have to see if he can claw his way back up there. More in particular, we'll have to see if Piasca can actually hold off Bucco and Passmaster, as now Passmaster gets by Bucco for P4. So now it's a matter of how much longer can Bucco hold on to P5 here, as he's already getting pressured from Gone Racing. Nasty is already starting to pull away in this one, but he is yet to top the 37.928 that Hoosier Daddy ran in the first qualifier. He only has a 38.126. We'll have to see it. I mean, sure, it's very early yet again, but if he holds that pace that he has been holding for a while, as in the back, with that Gone Racing that did finally make its way by Bucco there for P5, as now he's already getting pressured by left. So if left makes it by Bucco here, he sees himself in the A main. He's not gonna want to see himself out of the A main yet again. As he continues to improve his lap times, ran a 38.024. So if he gets down just about 1/10 of a second here, a little over a 1/10 of a second, he will see himself on the pole for the A-main if he holds off number one Dad. Meanwhile, towards the back here, Danny D is really struggling here. It's only around a 40.058, so a struggle week for him, it seems. He's not going to see himself continue that hot streak that he's had. He's not going to see himself, let alone back in the top 5 starting spot that he was in the A-main just last week. Meanwhile, the battle for the transfer spot still heating up. We see left right on Bucco's bumper here, as he might look to make the dive. Yes, he does. Into the second to last hairpin. Not quite. He gets pushed out wide by Bucco. He goes into the wall there. That'll set them both back, as now Firefighter looks to get potentially by left. They've now just passed halfway in this race. As he continues to hold on to the race, he just improved his time even further, a 38.011. So now it's dropped down to 9 hundredths of a second to see himself on the pole. Nasty's really pulled out a large lead on number one Dad. Number one Dad also in his own world, just about 5 seconds ahead of Piasca. But number one Dad sits just over 3.5 seconds back of Nasty in P1. While towards the back of the pack, we've had a good battle all race long between Blue Moon and Peppers. So we'll have to see who comes out victorious. They've been on each other's bumpers for the duration of this race. Those P10 and P11. So we'll have to see who holds off who. Firefighter is actually pulling back just at from Bucco and left. So we'll have to see. There we go. Left trying the crossover, not gonna get the run off exit to make it work, but he tried it. I give him props for trying it. There's now 5 to go. He's got to make the move in the last 5 laps if he's gonna get it done. If he's gonna see himself in the A-main, will we see Bucco back in the A-main, or will we see seems perennial A-main driver left in there yet again? As with all this battling, Firefighter has yet again seen himself right on the tail feathers of left. So Nasty has still yet to topple the 38 and get into the 37. Says left through the carousel. He sees himself clear. He gave him a little tap, but it was just enough to make himself get by Bucco, as Bucco still looks on the inside. Hoppin's trying to get anything out of the car, but he won't be able to do it. Left clears himself with 4 to go. Bucco's not going to make it. Oh, man, Bucco's, wow. That was not too great from Bucco. He just put him in the wall. Oh, man. That was not too good. Now left sees himself drop out of A-main contention. Firefighter, last week's B-main winner, he now sees himself in the A-main potentially. But you already know, left is not going to be too happy with Bucco there. As now we see a battle for P3 as Passmaster through the second to last hairpin. He'll get popped. Piasca, it looks like almost Piasca let him through. Oh, it's left. He gets a late dive there, but he makes it work. With 2 to go, he will see himself into A-main contention. Bucco's still trying with all his might to get in there, but he's now already down, I believe, to P9. So that's a rough go to see himself battling for the A-main spot. Now down to P9 as the white flag is already flown for Nasty. One more time around for him. He's already through the carousel. So now left is all alone. He will see himself, unless something catastrophic happens to him, he will see himself in the A-main. I feel like it's every time I say this, but by the skin of his teeth, he sees himself in the A-main. But coming through the final 2 hairpins, Nasty will see himself take the race victory in this one. Number 1 Dad, an incredible performance from him, a 38.267. He sees himself sitting, I believe, in P4. So a great performance from him. But yes, Nasty was able to improve just enough to see himself take the pole in this next race in the A-main. He ran a 37.899, so just enough to see himself on the pole. He'll be right ahead of Who's Your Daddy, followed then by Lurchy. Number 1 Dad will be in P4, and rounding out your top 5, we'll have to see who had the better lap time between Passmaster or JP57. It looked like it would be, let's take a look here. Not quite sure just yet. It will be JP57 that rounds out your top 5. Passmaster ran a 38.593, so not quite enough to see himself in the top 5. So your top 5 starting spots for this race will be Nasty, followed then by Who's Your Daddy, then Lurchy, followed then by number 1 Dad, and rounding out your top 5 will be JP57. we see a lot of drivers here on the bridge doing a little bit of trash talk to both Left and Bucco. So definitely a hard battle between those two. But it will be Left that sees himself barely in the transfer spot as we get set to bring you the interviews with your top 5 starting spots. We'll be back in just about 10 minutes here. Be back.
All right, guys, we're live in the break room. We're getting set to bring you the interviews as we start off with Nasty. He makes his way over here. Did I say the break room?
You did.
Oh, boy. Well, the event room. So, Nasty, your winging it has worked out for you last week as you took the A-Main victory. You're starting on the pole this time around. Think you can wing it to another win?
I'm going to try.
That's about all you need to do. So, best of luck to you, Joe. We move on now to Who's Your Daddy? Oh, boy. So, Who's Your Daddy? It's always good to see you in the top 5, let alone on the front row. You can get one spot better and take this one.
I don't know. Me and Joe race pretty rough together, so we'll see what happens. But I think I could get him though. It depends what car you get, but it'll be fun.
I like your odds in this one. I mean, I like Joe's too, but your odds, I mean, you're on the front row, so what can go wrong?
Yeah. No, we like I said, we raced rough together, but it'll be fun.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck to you. We now move on to Lurchy. So, Lurchy, you're one of the only 3 drivers to hit a 37 so far tonight. You can carry that pace into the A-Main.
Depends on the cart. If I get a good cart, I can make it happen. If it's junk, I just have to sit there and block the entire race.
I mean, in the day, that's true, but at the same time, I feel like you have enough pace to see yourself. I mean, you're starting, like I said, in P3, so I think you can get it done.
Yeah, I'll make it work.
Absolutely. Best of luck to you, Lurchy. We move on now to number 1 dad. So, number 1 dad, I send you my flowers for your first career top 5 starting spot. How do you think you'll hold up against the A-Man regulars, and do you think you'll hold your own?
Yeah, I think I can hold my own. These guys are all pretty fast, and it's kind of an honor. I mean, they're fast guys. You got some pros in the field. I mean, racing against this crew is pretty good. But when you get the equipment, you got to take advantage of it and use it and take it to where you can, the best way you can. So I'm honored to be here, man. Shout out to Bosco Racing.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck to you tonight as we finish off now with JP57 rounding out your top 5. So, JP, your modified race last week was nothing short of up and down, but your qualifier was quite the opposite. Think you can get it done tonight without any chaos?
Yeah, it's all on the cart, really. It's we'll see how it goes. I mean, I've won here from the back or the front, and it's all just how it plays out. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck to you, JP, in the A-Main that's coming up shortly, very, very shortly here. So we'll be back in probably about 2 minutes.
gentlemen, we're gonna start with Joe. We did take out cart 2 and replaced it with cart 20. I'm at cart 7, so just be aware of that. Joe, what cart are you looking to get today?
Not 14.
Not 14. Okay. See what you got. Cart 12. How do you feel about picking cart 12?
It's better than 14.
We got Joe starting with the 12. Joe starting with the 12. How do you feel about that?
I just want anything that'll beat Joe. And Pete.
So you don't want Joe to win?
I don't want anybody to win except for me.
Okay. We got Lurchi starting third. A-main appearance. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I just need the 19, 16, 7, anything like that.
Show the camera.
19.
That what you wanted?
Yes, that's exactly right.
You got the 19, 18, and the 12 in front of you. How do you feel?
Those are fast cars, man. Fast cars. But
Are you okay with the 14?
it's a good mid-level car. Let's see what I can.
Got the 14. Don't know what he can do with that, but we'll see. Jonathan Pulio, can you do a fifth to first today?
Yeah, if I get my 7, yeah. 8.
How do you feel, John?
Not good. Not good.
Pass master. Can we get a 6 to first today?
It depends on what I get. I pull the same number like every week.
But pass master, you did make it work in the first race. Are you planning to block, or are you attempting to pass this race?
Yes.
Yes.
Hold up. Fiasco! Fiasco! We're picking an order, so we're just going to wait for Piasca to come up. Piasca, you got the 1 and the 8 in front of you.
It ain't even real, is it?
Nah, it's on. You got the 1 and the 8 in front of you. How do you feel?
I feel great. Just give me something good.
You got the 16 and the 7 in here.
Damn, baby. Hey, watch me get to the front. Woo!
Jester, you got the 7 in front of you. How do you feel?
The 7? I'll be very happy.
11. You can make it work, Jester. You got to have faith. On racing. You still got the 16 in here. Is that your go-to chip?
What'd you say?
Is the 16 your go-to chip?
Oh, absolutely. All the time, right? Come on, let's play. Come on. Come on, baby Jesus. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
All right. You got the 6, the 3, and the 20. What car are you avoiding?
The 20.
We'll take that. We'll take that. Steve-O, 50-50. 6 or the 20? Let's see what you got.
6. Pennzoil up in there, synthetic.
Ooh. Okay. Little Pete, what car are you hoping that is not in here?
I know what's in there. I know. Yeah, 20. Perfect. Love it. Awesome.
Camera.
Yeah, we'll be in the back again.
Come on. That's not what we need. We need to have confidence in our drive. All right. Camera, we're gonna go interview Joe and Who's Your Daddy, and our segment is over after that. All right, Joe. You're starting first with the 12. You got the 18 behind you with Who's Your Daddy. How do you feel? Are you going to run away with it? Are you going to start blocking? What's your goal?
Probably not going to run away with it.
No? Is that no confidence in yourself or no confidence in the cart?
The car.
See what you got, Joe. Let's get the start smoking. Oh, turn it off. All right. We got Who's Your Daddy? Who's Your Daddy? How do you feel? You got Joe next to you. Joe said he's planning on blocking. He said he's not going to run away with it. Does that boost your confidence a little bit?
He can block from second on back, but I'm going to go buy him off the start, and I won't have to worry about him blocking.
First lap, first place, or will it take a little bit longer?
I think the first lap I'll get by him. It just depends how he races me.
Hey, that's the confidence that we need. You have to believe in yourself at On Track Karting. Woo! Nah, we should have with that one. I don't know what now.
Thank you to Mays for that minute with Mays. Quite a long minute with Mays, but still, we thank him for helping the drivers pull the chips out, setting the field, see who goes where. Or see who goes where, who gets what, more in particular. See some drivers not all too happy with their card selections, other drivers ecstatic. But all in all, what really matters here is who will take the A-Main win tonight. Getting set to bring you a really good one here tonight. See Nasty pull cart 12, and Who's Your Daddy just alongside him pulled cart 18. But down in P3, Lurchy pulls 19. We saw him ecstatic with that cart choice, so we'll have to see how he's able to work with that cart there. Of course, in his interview, he was talking about how it depends on cart, but again, I feel like he has more than enough pace, even despite that, to see himself potentially take the race win. I get the real feeling that tonight's going to be a nail biter. We have some good carts mid-pack. We have some good carts down in the back of the pack. See how they can work their way up the field as they start rolling. We're getting set to go for the A-Main. Through the hairpin they go. They start rolling. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. Already some guys getting shuffled out wide, 2 by 2, almost 3 wide there. But already Who's Your Daddy takes the race lead. Still 2 by 2 in the back. Oh boy, Passmaster gets spun around. Oh no! I believe that comes off the bumper of Chester. But that was just, I don't think that was Chester's fault. That was just a matter of everyone just piling in there, trying to make something work that was never going to. But even more, beating and banging there, 3 wide going under the bridge. Oh! Number 1 deck gets spun. Could not tell you whose bumper that was off of. I believe that might have either been left or just a T. It looks to be just a T. He might have to give that spot back. We'll have to see here. He will indeed. Just a T will have to drop all the way down behind, I believe, number 1 Dad, down to P11. P10. That's just how far back Juster has found his way. But meanwhile, up front, top 3 remains unchanged, but Piasca has the fastest lap of the race after lap 1. Hoosier Daddy, Ball Denton by Nasty, and Lurchie. JP57 rounds out the top 5, but Piasca continues to improve in that 7 kart. He has a 38.519. He's already trying to see if he can make his way into that battle. It's a 4-kart train for the lead. The only other 4-kart train is from P8, I believe, onwards. So that's not really gonna do that much. That's just a T, or excuse me, as Hoosier Daddy alluded to, as now, wow, Lurchie with a double pass, maybe, not quite. Hoosier Daddy maintains the race lead, but Lurchie right behind him, he will take T2. Piasca will also get by Nasty, so he inherits P3. Nasty drops all the way from P2 down to P4 in just about 2 corners through the light bulb there. As now Lurchie looks yet again into the wall, maybe goes Hoosier Daddy, but now Lurchie is all alone in the race lead. He will look to pull away from everyone. Gone Racing, meanwhile, towards the bottom of the pack, now middle of the pack. He has the fastest lap of the race with a 38.454, but he sits down in P7. So we'll have to say if he can work by left, who has already worked his way up into that top 6. So he started, I believe, either dead last or second to last in this race. He's already made his way up to P6. It's all the chaos. Props to the left there. As now Lurchie is starting to pull away. He now holds the fastest lap of the race after breaking away from Hoosier Daddy. He has a 38.316. JP57 has actually made his way too by Nasty. So Nasty's struggling quite a bit here. A bit surprising to see. Yes, JP57 now sits right where he started this race in P4. Or excuse me, he has actually jumped up 1 spot from P5 into P4. So we'll see if that momentum, that forward momentum will continue for him. And if he can make his way past Piasca. Last lap, lap 5, we saw Gone Racing actually take the pass away from left. So now Gone Racing sits in P6. Chester already pulling in very early, but now the battle for P2 sharpens heavily. Oh, so we see, I believe that was Piasca showing his displeasure to the marshals. He got a roll black. He did not like that he got a roll black all too much there. But now, Nasty already taking a dive. He clips the inside wall of the hairpin, but he puts on a blocking maneuver, trying to see if that will work. As guys on the bridge say, that's not going to end all too well. I don't think it will. I think JP has the faster kart here. We'll have to see. Now, as a result of all of that battling that's been happening these past couple of laps, Piasca now holds on to P2. but Lurchy has distanced himself by 4.2 seconds over Piasca. So he looks to be home free for, I believe, what will be his second career win. So for a guy that thought it would all depend on the kart, sure, he didn't get a bad pull of a kart, but at the same time, he's showing that he can put on a clinic to the rest of the field. He is down to a 38.084 compared to Piasca's 38.349. Gone Racing back down in P6. He actually has the second fastest lap time in a race, a 38.248. But if he can't make his way up the pack, I don't know whether or not it'll actually do all too much for him, but he now sees himself right on the back bumper of JP57 for P5. He sees himself very quickly in the battle for a top 5 spot. We just passed the halfway mark here. Lurchy continuing to run away with this thing. He's now almost 5 seconds ahead of Piasca now. It's not to discount how well Piasca's running too, though. He ran a 38.261. But Lurchy is just that much quicker than anyone else in the field. He's actually down in the 37s now. A 37.977. So once again, he remains one of only 3 drivers to get into the 37s here tonight. Meanwhile, a battle for E4. That's Nasty looking to potentially hold on for dear life. JP57 continues to look at his back bumper, but I don't know how much longer he'll want to do that. He's going to want to make his way by him very quickly, as he now feels the pressure of Gone Racing behind him. As now Gone Racing, he looks to the inside through the carousel. He will get the pass done, as it looks like JP57 let him go by through there. See if he can make his way past Nasty, and if JP can actually follow his way through. Pretty smart move there by JP57. As already, bumper to bumper, right as I say that, it looks like they might just do that. Yes, he will. That is Gone Racing and JP57 collectively making their way by. But right as I say that, coming through the second of 2 hairpins, Nasty gets the spot right back. So Gone Racing, the big winner in that one. He sees himself move up 2 spots in just about 1 full lap here. He now sees himself in P4. He can catch up to Who's Your Daddy there and get himself on the podium. So meanwhile, in the back of the pack, sadly, number 1 dad has dropped down to P10, so been a rough go for him. He did allude to it being potentially a rough go when he picked his chip earlier. But hey, we gotta give the flowers where they're due. He made his first career top 5 starting spot earlier. Meanwhile, now we see Passmaster in left. Yes, Passmaster will make it by the second to last hairpin on this track. He will see himself into P7 right as I start talking about that battle. JP57, meanwhile, continues to look at the back bumper of Nasty. He wants to get into that top 5. We'll see if he can get it done. He already almost got it done with Gone Racing making it by, but not quite able to get the job done. He's driving it in way deeper than Nasty is, so we'll have to see how that'll work out. As they'll come to 2 to go next time by. Lurchy continues to drop his lap time lower and lower. He's down into a 37.971. Coming through the double hairpin yet again, we see 2 to go. Carts are pretty evenly spaced out here, aside from that battle for P5. So we'll have to see. Yes, JP will make the dive. Will he get the job done? Not quite clear, not enough. Will he try the crossover? Not quite enough. Didn't quite have the time or the speed to get it done through the carousel. But coming through the final hairpin, the white flag flies for Lurchy. One more time around for him. Meanwhile, more contact between JP57 and Nasty. We'll have to see who gets the job done there. Who holds on to the top 5 spot. Going under the bridge now, though, Lurchy. He's been dominant all race long. Coming through the fast left-hander, through the double hairpin. He will see the checkered flag. Lurchy with his 2nd career win. He gets the job done tonight. As meanwhile, a battle for the final the final top 5 spot. JP57 is able to get it done. Oh my goodness, he will make it by Nasty there. So too will Paxmaster. So Nasty, just like earlier in this race, he will drop 2 spots in 1 corner. So Nasty drops from P5 down to P7. JP57, he will round out the top 5. So your top 5 finishers tonight are Lurchy taking his 2nd career A-main victory, all then by Piasca. Who's Your Daddy rounds out your podium. Gone Racing with a solid P4 finish, so he worked his way up to the front of the pack. And finally, rounding out your top 5 is going to be JP57. Wow, what a battle there for the final top 5 spot. And major props to Lurchy there. The way they're celebrating, it almost seems like it might be his first career A-main victory, so I'll have to get confirmation on that. But we will be right back. Props to Lurchy. We'll be right back in just about 5 minutes as they get set to draw their chips yet again for the B-main tonight. We'll be back. So yes, I just talked with Lurchy down in pit lane. It is, in fact, his first career A-main victory. So even more major props to Lurchy on this one. As we see a little bit of a disagreement on the bridge there between, I believe that's Gone Racing and Jester. But again, the main story tonight, Lurchy getting the job done for his first career A-main victory. And as they start to draw the chips for the B-main, We'll be right back. Stay tuned. So a big thing to note as we get prepared for the B main. Quad B, guy that's made the A main quite a number of times. He starts down at P11, but a good draw for him. The kart that won the A main just this past race, the 19 kart. He'll draw that tonight. So he'll look to see if he can repeat what Lurchie did. Mind you, way further back in the field, but once again, we'll have to see if he can repeat what Lurchie did in that kart. Starting on the pole in this one, we have Emma Baker, followed then by Firefighter, last week's B main winner. Down in P3, we have Shock 537, followed then by GTSR. Bucco, a guy that nearly made the A main, he starts in P5. Starting in P6, we have Fives. So, unfortunately, one spot off of his ironic number. Connor knows he'll start in P7. Peppers, 58, will start in P8. Blue Moon will start in P9, so not quite the A main performance we saw out of him last week. Coach Crowley making his return. He'll start down in P10. As I mentioned before, Quad B starting in P11, and then rounding out your field is going to be Danny D. So we'll have to see if he too can make his way up the pack and keep his hot streak. Mind you, it would have to be probably a podium to keep a quote-unquote hot streak alive for Danny D. But we're already getting set here for the B main. Cars are on track. They're now rolling. They now go under the bridge. Or not under the bridge, through the final hairpin. Boogie, boogie, boogie. We're going racing, boys. Oh, a lot of being and banging already. Oh, God, just as a lot of the drivers anticipated at the start of the B main to be, it is exactly what we all thought it would be. Even more shunting through the mid corner. Oh, good Lord. This is going to be a good one, folks. We're going to see a lot of action. Emma Baker has already gotten past for the P1 position. That's by Firefighter, so he'll look to hold on and take his second B main victory in a row. Quad B, meanwhile, he's dropped back one spot down to P12, so we'll look to see if he can make his way up the pack. So too is Danny D. But meanwhile, in front of all of them is Coach Crowley. We'll have to see if he can put on a blocking clinic. He looks to already have potentially done just that, as all the drivers are sat right on their tail feathers behind him. And it's really the top 5 and then everyone else. We'll have to see if Emma Baker can actually make her way by Firefighter here, as we hear a little bit of tire squealing. I believe that to be from, who would that be? Maybe Connor Knows. Oh, excuse me, that's from Blue Moon. He's dropped down quite a number of spots there. He puts the bumper to the back of Danny D. He'll let him right back by, though. Good sportsmanship there from Blue Moon. Now it looks as almost Bucco is significantly quicker than the rest of the 3 karts in front of them. He's already beaten and banging on Shock 537's bumper. He gets the roll black for it, but he does hold on to the fastest lap of the race. He holds on to a 38.729 right now, 0.2 quicker than the second fastest, who is Coach Crowley down in P6. So not even anyone in that top 4, or excuse me, top 3, none of them have hit a 38 in this one so far. So as I say that now, Bucco has made his way by Shock 537, so he'll look to see if he can make his way past Emma Baker as he now gives her a bump, trying to bump draft her down the front straightaway. Through that bump drafting, he actually ran his fastest lap of the race of 38.568. So he looks significantly quicker than anyone else in this one here. It's a matter of whether or not he can make it by both of these drivers in front of him, those being Emma Baker and Firefighter, who still holds on to the race lead. Meanwhile, they're too wide, coming by the start-finish stripe. That is Shock 537. That will lose 2 spots there, those being to 5s and Coach Crowley. So Coach Crowley will see himself inside the top 5. Meanwhile, in the back of the pack, we see a lot of bump in there. That's from Quad B on, I believe that's Peppers. We'll have to see if he can make anything happen in that 19 card there. He's already made up 2 spots. He's already got by Danny D and Blue Moon. But in the back of the pack, he holds on to a 38.8. So only 3 drivers so far in this one that have a 38. Excuse me, now 4 drivers. That belongs to Danny D now as well. But Danny D, Quad B, Bucco, and Coach Crowley are the only 4 drivers to have a 38-second lap time, as Bucco has made his way by Emma Baker just this past lap. As now Bucco looks to make a dive. Will he? No, he'll put the bumper to Firefighter there. That's, oh my goodness, what happened here? Is Quad B okay? What happened there? That sounded like a hard hit. I did not see what was happening there as I was looking at the front of the pack, but it looks like Quad B definitely took a tough lick there. Holding on to the back of his head, I'm curious what happened here. Now concern sets in for Quad B, but meanwhile, oh my goodness, squeezing Bucco now into the wall. That is Firefighter. As now he looks on the inside of Firefighter. Will he spin him? No, he won't. But he is significantly quicker. He looks to the switchback. He is already alongside, but he's not going to have the advantage coming through the kink. Good to see Quad B dead out of his cart. Looks to be fine walking on his own power, of course. So any concern we had now all gone as Firefighter continues to block with all his might. He continues to block, he continues to block Bucco. But in doing so, he's now, oh, the bumper there from Bucco. Will that let Emma Baker by? Not quite, but now Emma Baker will potentially get caught out by Coach Crowley. Yes, she will. Coach Crowley takes P3. We now have passed halfway. Looks to be that Bucco is just mistiming his move. He blocked this one. He needs to time his moves a lot better if he's going to make his way by Firefighter. Looks to be that he's taking wide lines. I'm not so sure that that's going to work all too well. He's trying to get a run. It's not going to be all too good. All of his buddies on the bridge, including your A-main winner, Lurchie, they're all begging for him to make the dive, but I don't know if that's quite going to work, guys. I think there's just not enough room there for him to make the dive. Well, what do I know? I'm just a commentator. They're the A-main winners over there. Danny D, meanwhile, on the back of the pack, he just ran the fastest lap of the race, a 38.356. So, he's not quite in that battle. But again, he's there. Bucco is there. He'll get help from Crowley. Will he make it by? Yes, he will. But will he get passed by Crowley now? No, he won't. Crowley will get into P2. Crowley will help his buddy Bucco into P1. Firefighter finally getting caught out there. He sees himself down in 4th place after the double pass And then right after, he gets passed by Emma Baker. So Emma Baker now on the podium. And meanwhile, oh my Lord, that wasn't all too good from Danny D there. But he does hold on to the fastest lap of the race, and he now seats himself with a roll black, but with 2 spots gained there. So now Danny D sees himself into P6. And oh my goodness, big bumps. What in the world is happening here? These guys, take it easy. They need to take it easy through that gate. We already saw one guy have to hop out of his cart from some hard-nosed racing. We got to take it easy through there, guys. Come on. 2 wide's never going to work, guys. And meanwhile, they've reached lap 15. 5 laps to go in this one. Bucco followed then by Coach Crowley and Emma Baker. Crowley's got to find an extra gear if he's going to catch right back up to Bucco. But not sure it's going to be quite enough. Crowley now down into a 38.966. If he potentially improve his lap time, yes, he will, down to a 38.880. So he's not exactly catching Bucco, as Bucco now down to a 38.358. But if something catastrophic happens here with Bucco, he's been known to make some mistakes in the past. He's been known to be over-aggressive, but he's all alone out there, so what mistake is there really to make aside from missing a corner? I do not believe he will do that, though. But now, next time by, we're going to see 2 to go. Now Eric, that being 55, Eric 55, better known now as Fives. He sees himself battling hard with Danny D. He actually lost the spot to Danny D that past lap. As there's now 2 to go. Some hard battling in the back of the pack, though. Being with Peppers, Blue Moon, and GTSR, paired even more so with Shock 537. But coming under the bridge now, he's now 2.5 seconds ahead of Coach Crowley. He's coming through the last few hairpins of this track. He now sees the white flag fly one more time around for Bucco. It looked to potentially be Firefighter's race. It looked to potentially be 2 in a row for Firefighter, as he put on in the early goings of this one, a blocking clinic, as now Firefighter gets passed yet again by Danny D, but he will let the position right back. But now coming through the light bulb, through the hairpin, he's already looking at that checkered flag. He's already celebrating. That would be Bucco taking the B-main victory in this one tonight. Crowley, the guy that helped him through, he will finish in P2, and Emma Baker will round out your podium. Firefighter will finish in P4 with Danny D right behind him, rounding out your top 5 in P5. Five's not quite able to improve that extra position and get himself into top 5. So sadly, Five's not able to get into that P5 position. Peppers, 58. He finishes down in P7. Blue Moon in P8. Shock, 537, finishes down in P9. GTSR finishes in P10. Honor Nose finishes down in P11. And then Quad B with a DNF, you will finish in P12. So as I thought that would be a great race, and it turned out to be exactly that. Bucco finally getting the job done in the B main. He takes the B main win tonight. Lurchy, meanwhile, the A main winner on the bridge, cheering him on. So congrats to both of our winners tonight. Lurchy, our A main victor, and Bucco, the B main victor. But that'll just about wrap up this week's league night for us. Been an honor and a pleasure for all of you, for me, and I hope for all of you. Best of luck to you guys. I know there's many of you out there that are looking to improve your karting careers. We're all out here to have fun.